What up, everyone? It's Watch the Throne Fantasy Football Show. I'm Al King with the usuals to my left and right. Ray Flethcer. That side. And Gabe Hernandez over here. On today's episode,
I can't turn left.
I don't know what to do with my hand.
On you guys in the pass rush up front, like that's what this team's supposed to be built on. How much?
Anybody else got questions?
God damn.
I don't know, man. Ask Zach, bro.
If we're not playing well, they have the right to boo. If we're kicking ass, they got the right to cheer.
I never got a game ball, not at Bama, not at nowhere. I ain't even gonna lie, this right here, it might not leave my hands. I might sleep like this.
Yeah, don't care about stats.
When did you find out that you'd be in the starting lineup?
That question right there is why I'm at.
Today's episode, we got news and notes. We got starts and sits. We got a new segment, two new segments, called WTF. You'll find out what it stands for later. It's not what you think. Why we drink. And then also, what's the other segment we got?
Panic or Patience. That was stolen. It was my idea first, but we saw it. Someone else do it. We're not going to say who.
You know,
a very popular show.
I've seen it on two other things. So now I'm starting to question, did you steal the concept?
I swear I didn't, but maybe I saw it last year. It was in my head.
Yes.
But I swear this year I haven't seen it until today. But
yes.
maybe last year I saw it.
I think, Ray, you dropped it in the group chat, right? Like, these mothers.
Right. Well, that was me. Well, Ray dropped the picture, and I said, mother.
That's all right. We're going to do it better. News and notes. Raheem Mostert, Devin A-Chain. It's the first game of the week. Dolphins, Bills, tomorrow night, Thursday. If you're listening, we're recording Wednesday night. It'll be out Thursday, day of the game. With Raheem Mostert out, Devin A-Chain, game time decision. What does that mean for the Dolphins running back room and fantasy purposes?
Well, A-Chain's huge, of course. I mean, you're starting him. Even if he's hurt, you're going to start him. If he plays, you got to put him in your roster. Mostert hurts for a lot of people. That's probably a guy that has a flex. If you went hero running back in your draft, he might be your RB2. So you're either looking at other options for the weekend. Interesting name maybe if you want to go tomorrow night, Jeff Wilson Jr., Jalen Wright. If A-Chain doesn't play, I'm definitely going with Jeff Wilson Jr. Jeff Wilson Jr. will still get some snaps, still get some work. They like to rotate the running backs in Miami. But also look for the weekend. Justice Hill, if he's still available, if you didn't get him in the waiver wire, there's a couple of options out there. Tank Bigsby.
What do you think, Rick?
Yeah, I'd be looking to the waiver wire if you have Mostert or H-Chan, just in case H-Chan's not going to play. Game time decision is always tough, but at least it's a Thursday and not a Monday like last week.
Yes. Yes. Puka to the IR. He's going to be out at least 4 weeks. Could be more. What do we think?
That's a tough injury. That's a hard person to replace. He had a very big role. We saw Cooper Kupp kind of go off, but they've got some interesting options there with the Rams. So, I mean, the rookie, I really like the rookie, Tyler Johnson. He's nice, but they've got a ton of options. The tight end's actually pretty nice too. Colby Parkinson, I like that.
I like both the wide receiver rookie options. It's weird. They like rookie wide receivers in LA. Tyler Johnson there. Also, Jordan Whittington. He had his first touchdown, I think, of his NFL career last week. And he's a kid from Texas who, I mean, by all accounts, the Texas wide receivers are going to be great this season.
Yeah, the Puka news hurts, and it just came out today, too. It might even be more than 4 games. So they actually kind of planned it perfectly. Their bye week is week 6. So I think I have Puka in one of my leagues. We were hoping for week 7 return. Might be a little longer than that. If you have an IR spot, stash him on there. He's hopefully going to come back. Hopefully you're still contending at the end, and you can play him at the end and go on a run. He had 8 points in PPR leagues. and he only played until I believe it was early in the second quarter where he finally got off the field. But it's gonna hurt for sure. Hopefully you can stand by. Like you said, you named a couple of names: Tyler Johnson, DeMarcus Robinson, just on the Rams. Wide receivers is going to be a ton off the waiver wire. Just keep your eye open.
Yeah, it's tough. Puka going down this early. He was a early draft pick for a lot of people, obviously. And how about the earliest draft pick for almost everyone, sans our Yahoo League? CMC didn't play Monday night, and he was limited in practice today, again, Wednesday, September 11th, going into week 2. I mean, talk about pulling the rug from under you. That was tough for a lot of CMC owners.
And you're looking at one right here. I had him in the Yahoo League that we are in now, and I was down 32 points, I believe it was, with Christian McCaffrey and the Jets defense. If you just assume Christian McCaffrey gets what Jordan Mason does, he clearly gets 30 points in our league, and I win that week. And instead, I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to pick anyone up. I'm just going to leave it because there's no one going to come close to 30 points on the waiver wire. Braylon Allen was available. It wasn't even worth it. I want a full-on investigation into this Niners locker room, though. What is going on? Jordan Mason said he knew he was playing by Friday. Apparently, he got a scolding, and Kyle Shanahan said he didn't know that. They just hyped him up. And in his presser, though, Jordan Mason's kind of seemed a little nervous and a little, I messed up, kind of. But right now we're hearing it's a long shot for week 2, so keep an eye on it. He limited practice today. It's going to be an interesting story with this one.
I feel bad for Jordan Mason. He was like almost in tears in the presser, I think, today. Did you see that? Did you guys see that? He was like, "This is why I don't like talking to the media," or maybe it was yesterday. Said, "This is why I don't like talking to the media because I said one thing out of pocket, or I said one thing and you guys take it out of context and stuff." And and he's like, "Just skip that question." Like, damn, dude, I'm sorry, bro. Sorry,
I feel bad for him.
Sorry, honesty isn't always the best policy, I guess.
Listen, we will encourage it, but obviously your team won't. But we encourage it.
Yeah. T. Higgins did not practice Wednesday, September 11th again, going into this weekend. I know we're going to talk a little bit that's a little foreshadowing, I think, about T. Higgins and company. What does it do? T. Higgins do not practice this week. Does he play week 2, Ray? And if he does, are you confidently playing him?
If he plays, I'm going to put him in my lineup for sure. I actually in one of my leagues, someone dropped T. Higgins to pick up Jordan Mason because they wanted to win that first week. So I'm putting a significant bid in on it's the secondary waiver, so I'm putting a significant bid in on T. Higgins, hoping that comes through. But if he's playing, I'm putting him in. I think he's still going to be a significant part of that offense.
Why would
I can't believe someone dropped T. Higgins.
What?
You guys got a spot open next year?
we might after this.
Wow.
If it's a money league, I might need to be in that one.
That's insane. Drop T. Higgins?
They wanted the week 1 win. They had no other option, so they got Jordan Mason, but sacrifice.
Did they get the win at least?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or, I don't know. They might have fell short. It was close.
There's got to be someone else on your bench that you could drop. Maybe they like everyone else on the bench. I don't know. They probably have 2 defenses.
Questionable. 2 kickers, 2 defenses?
Yes. Njoku out for week 2, Browns tight end. Boy, Deshaun looked so bad. He looked so bad. I don't think it matters that Njoku's out. I think I wouldn't be playing Njoku or even Cooper until you see something else from Deshaun Watson.
Yes, Deshaun Watson looked so bad. And it might have just happened to do a little something with that. That might have helped a little bit in the cause. No, look, the Cowboys look great. We're not going to get into that. But if you are investing in this Browns offense, you're a little concerned, even with Amari Cooper. Deshaun Watson definitely doesn't look the same. And then now a new sexual assault case opened up against him. There's talks about him being on the commissioner's list, but that he avoided that. Sounds like he's going to start this week. I just think that if you're on this Browns offense, you might want to jump sail. You might want to get off the bandwagon and look to possibly trade some guys if you can. I mean, they're not going to have much value right now, but I would try to jump off it right now. And Njoku, that's going to hurt with tight ends being so limited and not a lot of great tight ends out there. high ankle sprain. It could 4 or 6 weeks. It could 8 weeks. It could linger. That's going to be a tough one too.
Justin Fields expected to start again this week. Russell Wilson injury still lingering. What did we think of Justin Fields week 1, Ray?
Not great.
Yeah.
Could be better. Room for improvement, if we want to be nice. Like, it wasn't a good performance, and I mean, maybe some consistency. Maybe when the number one in practice this week while Russ is recovering will help him get a little rhythm, and maybe put out a respectable performance. But I would like to avoid that offense if it's up to me.
Is there a chance that if he plays well this week, and if Russ has to miss another week again, and he plays well again, which is hypothetical, is there a chance he keeps the job?
I think so. He's got the legs. The legs are always going to help the offense move, and I think he's definitely a candidate to keep the job if he plays well.
Russell Wilson was named a captain. It's just mind-boggling. They named him a captain. He hasn't even started a regular season game. Kind of wild to me.
But he was in uniform last week, so let's,
Yeah. Whatever that means.
Emergency quarterback.
Yeah. And then let's talk Cowboys tight end before we move on. Last of the injuries. Jake Ferguson injured himself in week 1. Similar injury to Jordan Love is what you were saying off air, I think, Gabe. And
sprained PCLs, pretty much what Jordan Love has. It's really weird. There's conflicting reports where he's going to play, and then there's, conflicting reports where he shouldn't play. Maybe he could. If it's a playoff game, maybe he plays. But week 2 of the regular season, I'd probably sit him out. I'm hoping he takes at least a week off. But it sounded like he might be good to go. He didn't practice today, but Wednesday practices are always tough to read because it could be a rest day. If you have anything, coaches are just going to sit you on a Wednesday. The big one's going to be Thursday and Friday to figure out where he really is. I don't think he's going to play, but it sounds like there's a chance. And unfortunately, he's one of the top 10 tight ends you drafted, and you're probably going to have to start him. The one league I do have Jake Ferguson in, I was lucky to get Likely. That would have been a tongue twister there. But I'm playing Likely over him no matter what, even if Ferguson plays. But if you have Ferguson, you didn't get Likely, you're probably going to have to play him.
Lucky to get Likely. Nice.
That might be the team name right there.
Nice. I love me some Isaiah Likely. I have for a long time. I've been toting that dude's name forever. And I texted Gabe. I said, I told you that's unlikely. And he said, oh, yeah, bro, 3 years later. But I kept him in my Dynasty League, and I started him week 1. So he's worth 41 points for me. Insane.
I think it was his rookie or sophomore year. You drafted him in every league where you're in.
I'm kicking myself that I didn't do it this year. That's a last-round tight end. Instead of I have Dallas Goedert as my backup in some leagues. I should have just waited and took my guy Likely at the end. But whatever. Mistakes were made this draft season. Mistakes were made. Good things were made
by all
too,
of us.
But mistakes were made by everyone as well. Moving on to our patience or panic segment. Created by Gabe. Only used by Gabe. Used by no one else. Gabe's original idea. He's never seen it anywhere else. This is right from his mind.
I want my trademark. Who stole my idea? Who was in my mind?
We're going to start out with my patience. I can't believe 1 catch, 4 yards, 3 targets, and a drop. Marvin Harrison Jr., Cardinals wide receiver. The drop would have been a first down. I think it was his first target of the game. And it was right there. And he dropped it. And I know that Kyler Murray, I think he stopped looking his way after that. He only hit him 2 more times on the targets, and he had the 1 reception for 4 yards. I think after that first down, he legit started looking elsewhere primarily before working back to Marvin rather than the other way around, which is what I think we were all hoping for as fantasy owners of Marvin Harrison Jr. And then Kyler Murray was quoted saying 10 hours ago, so today, Wednesday, September 11th, he said, it's not my job to force the ball to Marvin Harrison. He said, sometimes the ball goes to him, but that's not my job. I have a sense and a feel for guys when they don't get the ball and when they're getting the ball. but I leave that up to the OC. He tells me, don't worry about that type of stuff. Just keep playing a game and get the ball to where the ball is supposed to go. Gabe, I drafted him because you told me this guy's going to get 105 targets. He's got 16 more games, and he needs to get 172 targets to get there. Gabe.
I like it. That's about an average of 11 a game. I like it. It's getting that. Listen, it was a tough first game for Marvin Harrison Jr. I definitely gonna bite my tongue on that one for now. I do think he gets more involved. I think you have to find him in this offense. As you see, they got stagnant in the second half. They came out hot, and that's fine. When you're hot and when you're rolling, yeah, you pass it around. You get whoever the open receiver is. That's your favorite receiver. When it's crunch time and you need a play, he was wide open for a touchdown at the end. He burnt the corner wide open. Kyler just didn't see him, unfortunately, and missed him. He's going to get his plays. He's going to get his targets. He's going to get his catches. He's going to get his yards and touchdowns. I'm with you on this one. It's definitely going to be patience. It might not even be a great game this week. They play the Rams, decent secondary, but he should have a much better game. I can see like a 5-catch, 60-yard kind of game for Marvin Harrison Jr. this weekend.
Well, so I have him as patience. Ray, I'll let you chime in on this. Sorry. I have him as
no worries. So
Go ahead, Ray.
No, go ahead.
I have him as patience, and it's going to be interesting to see if we know the alpha wide receivers in this league. If they have a game where they're barely targeted, what usually happens the next week?
They feed him the next week.
Heavily targeted. So we'll see how important to the offense Marvin Harrison Jr. is, I think, this coming week. Go ahead, Ray.
Yeah, so I was on Team Patience, and I think I'm still on Team Patience, but like I was doing some research to try and back my decision, right? And I found some stats. I want to get your guys' opinions on them because they're interesting. But all right, so Kyler was 0 for 7 on passes of 10-plus yards downfield. Do we feel that that's a concerning factor?
No, he's usually got a good deep ball. He's usually pretty good with that. And Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be a good deep right. So, no, I'm not concerned about that.
I definitely think it was some week one Kyler rust coming off the injury and stuff. But, yeah, continue.
All right. Among rookie wide receivers, Marvin Harrison Jr. finished last in separation win rate percentage. How do we feel?
That's a little concerning. That is a little concerning. I will say, when I looked at him in college, and to be honest, the separation wasn't always great, but he's just a big target, so I was hoping that would transfer over into the NFL. So that's not great, but week one is just so tough with no preseason, no action. But go ahead, Al.
No. Please.
That one hurt you. That one hurt your soul. I can see it. I can see it.
I got one more. Last one. He had of wide receivers who have played 25 plus snaps in a game, he recorded the third lowest top speed of those guys during the game.
You know, when I was watching a little bit after that drop, he looks slow off the line. I mean, I was saying that about Devontae Adams last year, if you remember, Ray.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks slow off the line. I don't know if he's trying to pick the way he's going to run his route before he starts to run. You know, he doesn't come off the line great from what I saw in week one. It's just too early to react. I want to say patience, but now you're making me want to go trade this guy.
I think it's all overreaction. I do think we got to be patient with him. He's got to adjust to the NFL, right? He's a rookie. It takes time to get up to speed, you know, pun intended. So if he's not running at as fast as, maybe he's just not comfortable yet, and he's got to get comfortable in this offense, get comfortable around these bigger, faster people.
Yeah, I think it's, oh boy, patience. We're just going to keep saying patience with him, and then we'll see what we say after week 2. My panic of the week, the entire Carolina Panthers offense. They had 193 total yards, 135 passing, 58 rushing. Guys, Bryce Young might not be it.
It's time for bed.
So I made a bold statement at one of our drafts and said the Panthers are going to be a surprise team and they're going to win 7 or 8 games. I'm going to take that one back a little bit. I'm probably going to pay that bet off because I already made that bet. I'm probably going to pay that off sometime next week. But also, just bold prediction of you, Al, just to pick the Panthers as a panic. We all know that. We all know they're a panic. It's like, hey, guys, go start Tyreek Hill. Of course we're panicking on the Panthers. I'm not starting anybody on the Panthers this season, hopefully. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. Maybe Jonathan Brooks later down the road. Maybe, if I get my hands on him. But if you have anyone on the Panthers, cut them right now. Don't even pick anyone up. Just cut them.
Cut them.
Just cut them. Don't even pick no one up. It doesn't even don't even have them on your team. That's bad juju to have them on your team. That's bad luck. Just get rid of the Panthers.
That's a little aggressive. I mean, these guys are still professionals. They're gonna get better. They're gonna play better than that. I think. I hope. I mean, that was a tough performance, but Canal is the head coach. He's supposed to be the quarterback whisperer. You can only assume that Bryce is gonna get a little better, if not. I mean, he can't get much worse. That just definitely wasn't a promising start. Did you guys see what the coach said about Bryce after the game? He goes, good footwork, but he missed some throws. And I'm like, I think we all watched the game, bro. His footwork was not his strength.
Can I point something out really quick?
Yeah.
He had 4 more completions than Anthony Richardson in week 1.
Okay, so who would you rather have right now on your team, leading your team? Anthony Richardson or Bryce Young?
Sorry, I brought my Anthony Richardson isn't good into the show. I said I wouldn't do that. I said I'd leave it in the group chat. I apologize. 13 of 30, 161 yards, and 2 interceptions for Bryce Young. Chuba Hubbard, Deontay Johnson, Adam Thielen, and I think the tight end's name is Sanders, the rookie. He actually didn't too terrible, but for a rookie tight end. But those guys, not startable, right? You're obviously not starting Bryce in any league, but all those guys not startable currently.
They're going to have a game before I even look at them on my roster.
Copy that. We're going to go on to patience, panic for Gabe. We'll start with Travis Kelce Swift.
So before the season started, I made my bold prediction that Travis Kelce would be the number 1 tight end. And I know after Thursday, it wasn't looking the great. He didn't have his greatest game with 3 catches, 34 yards. But you see the snap share there on the screen is 89%. So he's on the field. He had only 4 targets. Watching the tape on him, it wasn't because he wasn't open. It's not because he couldn't get separation. It's just it was just a weird game of week 1, first game of the season. Xavier Worthy came out hot. Rashee Rice was open. The Chiefs offense, besides those 2, wasn't really super, super great as we're used to. And now you're going to mix in Hollywood Brown next week. I think it's still going to open up some things for Travis Kelce, and that's what I was expecting. The good news is the number 1 tight end is still out there as long as Likely kind of comes down because no other tight end did anything really. I mean, there's one tight end in the top 10 that got double digits, and that was Kyle Pitts. And that's because he scored a touchdown. So there is a chance for Kelce. He's still going to be fine. Do not panic on him. But I know there was a lot of preseason on he's over the hill. He's getting up there in age. Be patient with him. He's going to have his games. He's going to go for 7 catches, 87 yards, and 2 touchdowns in this next game. You heard it here first. 87 was not an accident, by the way. I picked that number on purpose.
Ray, you got anything?
Smooth. Yeah, no. Kelce, definitely have patience with him. He's going to get more looks this season. The emergence of Xavier Worthy is going to be nothing but good for Travis Kelce. It's going to open up the middle of that field, and Kelce's going to feast when he needs to, 3rd downs, or he's still going to be the go-to guy. Yeah, I'm not worried at all.
Yeah, Kelce, patience. I'm on the same boat.
Now, this one is a little more – I'm not doubting the talent, and I really hope I'm wrong on this one because I love Jamaar Chase. But I'm a little panicked about this Bengals offense. Now, it's been a couple years since this team has really been on that Bengals offense. I believe 2021 was their last year with the Super Bowl run where we said this is a good offense, this is a good team. Since then, it's kind of been up and down. We haven't really seen them fully healthy probably since then either with either Burrow or Jamaar Chase or T. Higgins. just the offense as a whole. I picked Jamaar Chase in specific because he was a first-round pick. But it just something seemed off with that, and I know I'm going to give credit to the Patriots. The Patriots have a good defense. I think people are going to sleep on the Patriots defense this whole year. Where there's guys you might expect to have big games. I would kind of ease off on the Patriots if you think they're going to blow up against them. I'm panicked a little bit. I'm not on the full. I'm not going like a full 10 panic where I'm just jumping off the bandwagon. I'm saying this because I also have Burrow, but everything was also so quick. It was quick passes. Jamaar Chase is a deep threat. If Joe Burrow does not have time, that limits him in fantasy, and that's going to limit him as your number one option. So that's my only thing I'm watching out for. I'm hoping he gets more time. I'm hoping I'm wrong on this, but I am panicked. I'm going to say my panic's at about a level 7. There's still room to even get more panicked, and I'm not all the way there. So hopefully it turns around, though.
Go ahead, Ray.
That's a little strong on the panic. I'm going to be a little more patient on Jamaar Chase. I think six catches, 62 yards. That's a decent game. He's not going to be dropping 30 points every week like we all want him to. But 6 for 62 is respectable. If you're in a PPR, you got 12 points right there. Throwing a touchdown, it's a great game. He's still playing for his contract. He wants to get paid. He wants to beat JJ. Beat his contract, but he's off the injury report. I think he's going to be back, get into the rhythm. He's going to be at practice all week, and then he's going to bounce back against the Chiefs. The Chiefs last week gave up the 6th most yards through the air, and that was against the Ravens, the run-heavy Ravens. So I expect a big game for Chase, a bounce back, and then we can all relax.
Yeah, I'm definitely on the patient side with him, not because I own him, not because I took him in the first round. I just think yes, I agree with Gabe with that offense actually hasn't been as great as people think it is for the last few years. But I still think as long as Burrow's healthy, Chase he'll finish in the top 15 wide receivers for sure, top 10 probably.
And I think that's my only concern here is just it's almost like the Travis Kelce effect last year where he had 97 catches or whatever it was and almost 1,000 yards, but he had a down year. And it's kind of we hold Jamaar Chase to that same standard. So I'm thinking 6 targets. You probably want a few more targets there. 6 catches for 62 yards. You're right. That's not a bad game. I want a little more targets, though, especially since he was the only option, really. He's the number one option. I do want to see this offense as a whole with T. Higgins when he comes back. I will give them a chance, but just down the road, I am keeping an eye on it, and if I feel like a couple more games it's just not there, you might be talking about Jamaar Chase trading him.
Now we're moving on to patience or panic with Ray. We got Derrick Henry, the first one, Ray.
Yeah, Derrick Henry, I'm going to be patient with him. Week 1, 13 carries for 46 yards and a touchdown, nothing to write home about, but don't fall for the Justice Hill trap. It's a trap every year. I've fallen for it twice, and this game was about game script. The Ravens being behind required Justice Hill in a little bit more to catch passes, but I don't expect the Ravens to be behind that often, and I would start him with confidence this week. You gave a prediction earlier, Gabe. I'm going to give a prediction now. He's going to crack the century mark, score 2 tutties. J.K. Dobbins torched the Raiders. Derrick Henry is going to do the same.
I couldn't agree more. Against the Raiders, he's going to have a great week this week, and they're going to be up big. I'm assuming. I will say Justice Hill will be an interesting. Yeah, I would definitely stash him on your bench. I think there is going to be games where Justice Hill gets 6, 7 catches, 4, 3. I think he's good for 3 or 4 maybe every game. But I'm with you. My panic is so low. I'm sorry. I'm saying this all wrong. I'm lost now. My patience is very high for Derrick Henry. I watched that tape. He was hitting the right holes. He was doing everything right. Chiefs have a good defense. Like you said, game script too. They fell behind early. I know John Harbaugh came out and said that they're not going to give him 30 carries a game, but he didn't say they weren't going to give him 20 carries a game. So,
right.
So I do see a big game for him this weekend, and there's going to be times where game script might not be there, and he might not get as many carries, but I'm super, super patient on him this year.
Justice Hill's a better running back in Baltimore. Panic.
He's just going to sneak that in there. Wow.
No, I'm kidding. You're panic, Ray.
All right, DK Metcalf. I'm a little worried here. 4 targets. He only had 3 catches for 29 yards. The Seahawks, they only pass the ball 42% of the time. Very run heavy. And then the leader in target share was Tyler Lockett. 28% of the targets went to Tyler Lockett. I know it was against Pat Surtain, but look, it's not going to get much easier. Next week is Christian Gonzalez and the Patriots, and you can follow that up with Jalen Ramsey. The Seahawks are going to need to keep running the ball, and I'm just not sold on Geno Smith being able to turn Metcalf into a viable producer.
Yeah, DK, he didn't even have a great year last year. He torched my Cowboys for 3 touchdowns, and really that was where most of his production came from all last year. And I'm with you on DK Metcalf. I didn't really buy into any DK Metcalf stock this year. It's not that I don't love him as a receiver. It's just I'm not sold on Geno Smith. And I think that you are correct for DK. If you have him as a flex, I guess that's not a bad flex, but I definitely think you could do better. Just the talent is there, so he could have a big play anytime, really, because he is that talented. But like you said, the offense is not scripted for that. He even said himself, the Seahawks are going to run it down your throat until you can stop them. So I'm with you on DK Metcalf. I'm not trying to buy any stock into him this year. I like it.
Yeah, I think DK as a panic is a smart pick. I think Geno, since his comeback player of the year, did he win the award that year? I can't remember. But ever since his comeback year, if you will, he's kind of regressed. Not back fully to old Geno Smith where it was like almost laughable, but that's Daniel Jones now. He took that role. But I don't think he's to the point where he can carry more than one wide receiver to be a wide receiver 1 in fantasy circles. I think good call. On to WTF. We're going to start with Gabe. What the Whoa, way too far. Way too far. So this segment is WTF. Ray's idea. WTF. And then we decided to say way too far because we're a family-friendly program. But this is
trying to get monetized one day, right?
Yes, monetized one day. This is essentially a segment where someone was playing a joke or people were playing jokes on us in fantasy circles and they took it way too far. Gabe, who's the jokesters for you that took it way too far?
We had a draft the Monday before the season started, and I got a lot of flack for my 9th round pick. Now, we have 2 other Cowboys fans in that league, and I knew I had my starting lineup. I said, you know what? Brandon Aubrey is going to be a weapon this year. That man's kicks 50 and 60-yard field goals like it's nothing. I'm taking Aubrey in the 9th round, and I did it, and I got flack for it. He scored more than any tight end, besides Isaiah Likely. I'm sorry, any starting tight end. Kickers are taking over the league. Chris Boswell, Jake Moody, Brandon Aubrey. There's one more at the top of my head I can't think of that scored 20-plus this week. There was no tight end besides Isaiah Likely that scored 20-plus points. And kickers are the new weapons of the league in fantasy football. Brandon Aubrey is going to be that guy this year. I'm telling you, I would not be surprised if he puts up most single-season fantasy points for a kicker. That guy kicks 50, 60. He kicked a 66-yarder. We were thinking about kicking a 71-yarder. I was like, are we really about to do this? There's no way. So kickers, listen, they had a great week. They scored more than a lot of great players. I was looking at the list. I was like, my Lord, I need to get me these kickers in every league.
I will say this, and I have nothing to back this up. 0% of anything to back this up. Early in the season, I bet kickers are worth more because offenses don't get in the end zone as often. Maybe they're struggling. They can move the ball. They just can't get in the end zone. They haven't figured out their red zone schemes yet to this point. So I'm very curious if that is a thing and we see the kicker points kind of decline as opposed to staying up there. But, again, I have nothing to back that up.
Way to ruin my high, Al. No, Blake Groupie was from the New Orleans. He was the other kicker. And then I'm just going to give you a couple real quick, and then I'll let Ray take over here. They scored more than Patrick Mahomes, Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott, Trevor Lawrence. we're talking about some big time names here. So it was a fun week one. It had me scratching my head when I saw 4 20-point kickers. I said, no way. You're right. It's going to calm down. Week 1, 2, 3 even is a little like preseason for these guys. It'll calm down. They'll start scoring more touchdowns. But it still blew my mind this week of how many kickers scored over 20 points.
It's a great WTF. Great WTF. Ray. WTF, bro.
Oh my goodness. Who saw this coming? If you saw Alexander Mattison out-snapping and outscoring Zamir White, put your hand down. You are lying. Zamir, 23 snaps to Alexander Madison's 36. Zamir did get 44 yards, but not 0 looks in the passing game. I was really high on Zamir being the featured back. I didn't expect to see Mattison hurdling people for touchdowns, but I think they need to calm down a little bit with this Alexander Mattison role. This is just way too far.
I loved Mattison in Minnesota, but boy, he was really bad as a starter, so I didn't expect to see this at all.
I'm going to throw you under the bus out real quick.
Mm-hmm.
You were so high on Mattison last year. I remember that.
I was.
And you thought he was going to take Dalvin Cook's job and he was going to be the number 1 in Minnesota. Oh, I'm sorry, not Dalvin. Oh, yeah, Dalvin Cook. I'm sorry. Dalvin Cook's job in Minnesota. And you weren't the only one. There was quite a few people that were high on him. So, but I'm right there with you.
Last year Dalvin was gone. So it was Madison's backfield.
You're right.
And
you're right.
He was really bad. Really bad. I made the same prediction on him that I did with Kyren Williams, where I said this dude will be a number 1 first-round draft pick this season for the Vikings running back.
That's ominous for Kyren.
I know. But I did not expect to see him out-snap, outscore everything over Zamir. It's weird. It's weird.
Now, can we, real quick, because Zamir did out-carry him 13-5, I believe I see. Is it possible game script? But is this possible we could see this the rest of the season? Because we're not expecting a lot from the Raiders. Could we see more Alexander Mattison? Do you think, Ray, we're going to see more Alexander Mattison than Zamir White for the rest of the season if he's the pass-catching back?
I think it's very possible. Gardner Minshew also had the lowest yards per air yards per target in week 1. So like he's checking down all day to Brock Bowers and to Mattison. So I expect, Madison's role is going to continue.
While we're on the Raiders really quick, Devontae Adams tweeted out that weird posted on his Instagram story. This has been a fun one with him waving. So I'm just looking on X, formerly Twitter, right now.
I thought you were about to break some news real quick.
See if there's any breaking, but I don't think there is.
Rogers probably said, I need my boy.
Right? Nope. No, nothing breaking. Nothing breaking. Thought maybe. Did think maybe, but not quite.
I can't wait till we can break news on our podcast for the first time ever. That's going to be great.
Right.
We're going to go crazy.
There will be. On to my WTF. If you watch a certain pod, which I know we're not going to name drop any of them, but this guy was a running joke for a segment for them this year going into the season. Tank Bigsby for the Jaguars. I honestly really like Tank. I didn't draft him anywhere. He's still out there on some waiver wires on a couple of the leagues that I'm in, and I'm very close to picking him up in one, but I don't really know who to drop. But he had 12 rushes for 73 yards, no catches, no targets, no touchdowns. But I believe he had the same amount of carries as Travis Etienne, 12-12. Etienne did find the end zone. He should have found the end zone twice, but he fumbled that one at the goal line. But is Tank Bigsby going to continue to split the backfield with Travis Etienne?
I think he is. Yeah, I think he's going to have I think his role is going to just grow. Like, he was way more efficient on 12 carries, 73 yards. That's good production. He's going to have a role all season. And, man, I don't know. That fumble was huge. Mm-hmm. And if he continues to have similar issues, I could see him taking the job. I'm not going to predict that, but it's, within the realm of possibilities.
There was a crazy stat for Etienne where however many touches he had last year, he didn't have a single fumble. So for him to have a fumble in week 1 this year was like kind of weird. I don't know if it's a problem for him. But yeah, Tank lived up to what he was supposed to last year. So.
And real quick, I know Doug Peterson wanted to work a split backfield. He doesn't want Travis Etienne to be a workhorse. He just happened to be a workhorse last year because Tank Bigsby was not that guy last year. Might be this year. And unfortunately, that's going to suck for Travis Etienne owners, but that's another one to keep your eye on to say maybe you trade him in a week or two if he's not living up to the hype.
Yeah, that's kind of why I put him on the way too far, because it's a funny joke, but not funny joke to Travis Etienne owners. And, you know, I don't own him anywhere, so I'm not in on this joke. But for those of you that do own Etienne, it's got to suck. They took it way too far. Tank took it way. I mean, come on, bro. What are we doing? Inappropriate at this point.
Are you saying my Yahoo team's in trouble because I have CMC, Marvin Harrison Jr., and then Travis Etienne? Am I in trouble?
Oh, boy.
Should I trade some of those guys?
That's scary.
Isn't that so crazy?
I mean, CMC, though, is fine.
Yeah.
He'll be back and he'll torch. I mean, dude, look what Jordan Mason did. At this point, Chris McCaffrey's not even good. He's a system running back.
Settle down.
I didn't say it, Ray. I didn't. Your fellow Niner fan said it, not me.
I was waiting. I was waiting for people to be like, "Oh, Jordan Mason can do it." So it's just a product of the system for Chris McCaffrey. Someone will say it eventually, and I guess
Mostert did it.
I've already heard it.
Did it. Mostert, yep.
I've already heard it at my work from a fellow Niner fan.
Did you? Yeah. Well, dude, the Niner system,
The Shanahan system.
yeah, the Shanahan system is so good. I mean, if you have a scotch of talent, you're probably going to succeed. I don't know. Whatever. Sweet shirt, Gabe. On to the starts and sits. We'll start with Ray. Your start of the week, Ray.
Oh, Jayden Daniels, love him. Finished QB3 in week 1, 17 for 24 with 184 yards, 88 more on the ground, 2 touchdowns on the ground. I think you start him with confidence. He's going to keep running, and he led the NFL in goal line carries. He had 3, including his 2 goal line touchdowns. He's going to get more comfortable with his receivers as the season goes on. Start him this week, and don't look back.
I really hope he gets more comfortable with his receivers as a Terry McLaurin owner in a couple spots.
You know, he didn't have a terrible throwing week. He's 17 for 24. It's not terrible. I mean, it's good passing week as well. They just didn't pass enough. Like you said, 16 carries, 88 yards. That's in 2 touchdowns. That's incredible. Now you're playing the Giants defense, and you can do anything to the Giants defense. We just saw Sam Darnold torch the Giants defense. So if Sam Darnold could put up 28, I think we're going to see probably 30 at least from Jayden Daniels and the Washington team.
Yeah, that's a good start of the week, Jayden Daniels. Sit of the week. Thank you, Captain Obvious.
If you're going to go Panthers offense, I can go to the Hubbard. I mean, it's brutal. 6 carries, 14 yards, 0 targets in the passing game. We want nothing to do with this offense. We've talked about it enough. We can move on.
Yeah, moving forward. Sorry, Chuba. I like you. I promise. I like you. Gabe.
My start of the week, I'm going with Jonathan Taylor here. So there's a couple of reasons behind this. They just gave up 3 touchdowns to Saquon Barkley, and the Colts are obviously going to be a running team. That middle of the Packers defense, they got blown up, and that Saquon had a lot of success in that middle when they ran, dives. And now you got Anthony Richardson running the option. Kind of the same concept with Jalen Hurts and Saquon. So you're going to see with Anthony Richardson and Jonathan Taylor. Game script is also the Colts should win this game. It should be ahead. No Jordan Love. You figure we saw enough from Malik Willis to know that this team's probably going to struggle. So game script and just the fact that they just got eaten up by Saquon Barkley last week, that tells me enough that Jonathan Taylor should be a start of the week. And, I mean, you're obviously going to start him, but I'm talking about you should expect RB1, RB2 at the minimum from Jonathan Taylor. If you play daily fantasy, he's a guy to look at.
I'm not going to argue against any of that. Start him.
Yep. I think Jonathan Taylor is in for a big season, honestly. Sit of the week.
So this one, we had this argument, and not an argument, but it was a debate for us of who is going to be the odd man out. And I'm kind of going to go, I'm going to stand on the throne on this one a little bit, and I'm going to double down on Tank Dell. We talked about this, and I think in week 1, while Tank Dell had his opportunities, he had a decent game, not terrible. He had 8 fantasy points in PPR. He just seemed like the odd man out. He seemed like the clear number 3 option in the passing game. Nico and Stephon Diggs got the love. And Stephon Diggs, he had the touchdowns. Now, if Stephon Diggs didn't have the touchdowns, maybe him and Tank Dell are like right there, and Nico was the clear number 1. But you kind of figure Stephon Diggs might be that red zone target for C.J. Stroud going forward. And I would clearly make him a more effective target in the red zone than Tank Dell. So I think Tank Dell's the odd man out here. Bears actually's defense played well. I want to see them play a better offense than the Titans because I do think while the Texans could put up some numbers, I do believe in this Bears defense, though. So I do think Tank Dell's your sit just based off he's the clear number 3 option in my mind. And the Bears defense actually is pretty solid. I think Nico, I think C.J. Stroud, Joe Mixon, those guys should have good games still. But I think Tank Dell's the odd man out here.
You know, I have no start or sit of the week. Isn't that great?
Unbelievable.
I quit. I'm out.
Unbelievable.
What is this?
Amateur hour, clearly.
What is this, amateur hour here? It's like our 5th show. Come on now.
My bad. So we are going to our last segment, a segment that Ray came up with. Again, these guys are so smart. I don't come up with anything. I don't even do start sits. These guys are the talent. They're the geniuses. They're the minds behind it all. I'm just a guy here that tries to keep us moving forward. The last segment is called Why We Drink. I have mine, and I'm pissed about it. Why we drink? Hey, I'm back. I sat George Pickens for Terry McLaurin when they said Justin Fields was starting. And I said, all right, I'm going to sit Pickens and play McLaurin and hope that Daniels connects with him on a couple long shots, and I'm feeling good. Needless to say, the league that I did that in, I lost by 4 points. Pickens gave me 14 points on the bench. McLaurin gave me 4 points in the starting lineup. 10-point difference. I would have won by 6. That's why I drink this week.
You know, we gave you so much crap in the group chat, but it's really not a terrible. Like, you swapped out a good receiver. It's not like you started Romeo Dobbs, you know.
Excuse you? Excuse you?
I knew that was another shot. I had to do it. I knew it was another shot. I had to do it.
You know, I would have still won had I played Romeo, which is really
Romeo actually had a good game. I just knew that was another shot at you. That's why I had to pick Romeo.
Yes, it was. Who wants to go next? Gabe or Ray? Why
go ahead, Ray.
Ray, why are you drinking this week?
First of all, you just started with Ray. This is his segment.
You're right.
I'm drinking in celebration tonight. I won this week, and normally that wouldn't be like anything too exciting, but I won with the second least amount of points scored this week.
Hey!
And I whooped my opponent's ass, 95-69.
Yo.
Literally the only two teams not to crack triple digits.
What an ugly
Brutal.
matchup.
So, you know, I tell my brother this all the time because he won back-to-back in my league. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. You know, sometimes it's just better to be lucky.
Look, it was an all-around bad performance by old birdie bastards, but a win is a win, and I'll take an ugly win any day of the week. Cheers.
Cheers, my friend. Let's go.
Gabe, why are you drinking?
I'm drinking. My fellow commissioners, you already know the pain in my voice that I'm talking with. You already know what I'm about to say. People suck. Being commissioner is the worst. Who decides one day, be like, you know what? I'll be a commissioner of a fantasy football league. Nobody. We just get forced into it because we're the most organized and responsible and whatever it is. But it is annoying. So let me tell you what happened. I'm going to tell you this quick story. I'm going to try to make it as quick as I can. At our draft in our league, Al and CBS, I announced that our IR spot will only be used for players on the IR. I have a player today who put David Njoku on his IR. He's not on IR. He is out, but he's not on IR. And I did this specifically to not hoard the waiver wire and hoard players. I want them on the waiver wire. I want more competition, and I want it better for the league. I get a text and a call about how I told him he's got to take him off IR. You got to drop a player. And this turned into an hour conversation about how this is a stupid rule and this is ridiculous. And I'm protesting. I'm going to sit all my guys. And I said, go ahead. You're going to take an L. I don't care. Until I finally gave in because he wouldn't stop crying. And I took it to a team vote or a league vote. Commissioners, we deserve more respect. We deserve to be paid for this. We shouldn't make everyone in the league owes us something, either alcohol or money or food or something. This is to all my commissioners. You know the crap we go through and that we put up with to even start this league and organize this fun stuff that we do. Cheers.
Preach.
Sheesh. Ray, are you commissioner anywhere?
I am, yeah, of one of my dynasty leagues, which is really intense. So my advice here is you make it a rule. That's an automatic drop. You put someone on IR that doesn't belong there, they automatically get cut.
Whoa. That's not bad advice. I mean, the league would get set on fire, but
sometimes you got to reign with an iron fist, rule with an iron fist.
I'm commissioner in 2 leagues, and I was commissioner in 4, and I gave up 2 of them. I'm like, can anyone else do this, please? Like, there's too many crybabies in this league at this point. Like, please, just anyone else. And so now we have a co-commish happening in our Yahoo league. Then the other one, my buddy just took it over, and I was like, please, thank you.
I almost quit years ago because I'm like, you know what? I'm not being commissioner. I just want to play. You know what? Someone else do it. But I know my league would fall apart if I was not commissioner. So
Yes, it would. I actually voted on that in our CBS league, Gabe. I didn't realize. So when I voted, I didn't realize. I thought out was allowed on IR. So my bad on the text when I said, oh, out should be allowed and pup should be allowed. But doubtful, questionable, probable shouldn't be allowed.
And that we agreed on that. And pup is allowed. If you're on the PUP to start the season, IR, you're on the IR. That's fine. I'll live with that. Yeah. I wanted to try to make it a little more competitive and a little more tougher on us to have to make those decisions. Do we keep him on a roster spot or do we cut someone? Like when you have to cut somebody for a waiver wire, I wanted those decisions to be a little tougher. I wanted to make a little more competition. Obviously, some people don't like a little more competition and they want the easy way out. So as a babysitter, I gave it to him.
In the real league, if a player is out, you are not allowed to add another man to your roster unless you put them on IR, correct?
Correct. That's correct.
All right. So. I misspoke on my vote. I take back my vote. But I like Ray's advice. Rule with the iron fist.
I do like that. I should get him on the phone just so you can hear him complain and see what I dealt with for an hour today.
I know who it is, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You already know. I told him I'm going to put him on blast too to the podcast tonight. I told him already.
It's usually mainly always the one guy, and it's the one guy again.
Always.
Ray, you got to meet the one guy.
We all got one.
No, you don't. Don't do it, Ray. Don't meet him. He's the worst. He's one of my closest friends, but he's the worst.
Great guy.
So real quick, though, before we sign off, Al, I know me and you, we actually play this week in a Yahoo.
Yes,
I don't know if you caught that.
Yes, we do.
So we play. Now, I just kind of went over my team a little bit. Your team did okay, too. I think we should make a quick side bet.
Okay. Slap net.
Oh. You want to slap? I was going to do push-ups. I was going to do push-ups. A point. Every point you lose, you got to do that many push-ups.
I like push-ups.
But we can do slaps too. We can do whatever you want. Or we can figure it. We can figure it offline. I just wanted to bring it to the podcast attention.
What if we do every point you lose by is money you owe the winner?
$1 a point?
$1 a point.
I'm with it.
High stakes.
Ray's like, damn.
You heard it here.
Damn, kids.
I was trying to not keep it. I was trying to keep it fun, but you went to money round. You know me. I'm a betting man. So
push-ups
let's do
are
it.
not fun. In what world are push-ups fun?
Well, that would have been fun for me because I wanted to see you do like 20 push-ups.
You are projected to win by 9 points currently.
That means I'm going to lose by 30.
Currently. You have Stroud. I have Lamar. Interesting. Okay, good. I know we play each other.
It's going to be a good matchup.
I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be fun.
Yep.
Great team name. Ryan loves fat chicks for Gabe.
It's one of those you had to be at the draft to understand the team name.
Yes. That's the episode. We did it in under an hour, boys. Holy.
Let's go.
People might have actually made it to this point of the show now.
Let's go.
If you did, comment
We're getting better.
below, subscribe, like, and just say, hey, I made it to the end of your episode. Please. I want to see who did it. That was Watch the Throne Fantasy Football Show. Thanks for listening. Good luck in your matchups this weekend. And until next week. Peace.
Week 2.